Hello, and welcome to
Papi Approved Movies.
My name is Papi.
And I'm Natalie.
In our podcast, we will review and critique my favorite PG-13 movies.
Movies that I wasn't allowed to watch until I turned 13.
Every week, Natalie and I will watch a new PG-13 movie.
And I'll see if Papi's movies live up to the hype.
Which, of course, they will.
Today we're going to be watching James Bond, Casino Royale.
Before we begin, there will be spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie and don't want it to be spoiled,
Press pause and come back when you're finished. Now, Papi, tell me the deets on this movie.
Casino Royale came out in 2006 with a runtime of 2 hours and 24 minutes. It can't be streamed on anything right now. We watched it on Netflix, but it went away, and so you'd have to rent it to actually watch it.
Wait, did we get it just in time?
Yeah, like 2 days before I left, so...
Oh, no, that happened with Mean Girls, right?
I know. We kind of knew about Mean Girls. That's why we chose to watch it earlier. So
Oh, yeah.
it was written by Neil Purvis, Robert Wade, Paul Haggis, and based on the novel by Ian Fleming. It was directed by Martin Campbell, who also directed The Mask of Zorro.
Wow. Another 2-for-2 movie.
Yeah.
It seems as though like all your movies are compiled of like certain directors too.
Yeah, it might be. If we look at all of them, I bet you they would have a lot more similarities.
Like you don't want all of the same movies directed by the same person in 1 month because there's just that many of that one person.
Right. I think Christopher Nolan, Inception, and then Batman, and then Interstellar, and we're probably going to watch all those. Just hopefully spread them out so that people don't get tired of the same director.
Yeah, but it does make sense if your favorite... It's like if you read your favorite book, you might want to check out other books the author wrote because you're most likely like those too, right?
Yeah, makes sense. The main stars are Daniel Craig, Eva Green, and Dame Judi Dench. This was Daniel Craig's first time playing James Bond, and the 21st official James Bond movie.
James Blonde!
James Blonde, yes. After movies like The Bourne Identity, the franchise rebooted the 007 character and wanted to go with a younger and more athletic Bond. Daniel Craig is just that.
I didn't really think he was younger. When you said younger, I thought he would be more like a Spider-Man or something.
Oh, no. I mean, the other James Bonds are in his 50s and late 50s and maybe early 60s, so.
I was thinking you meant like late, like 17, 18, or like 20, 21.
And that's what younger is to you. 17,
Your versions
18.
of younger and older are way different than mine.
I think so. Yes, no.
Because you're older.
It wasn't going to be your favorite actor, Spider-Man. What's his name again?
Tom Holland.
It's not going to be Tom Holland, right? Or maybe someday, right? When he's older, so.
Who would it be? Toby Maguire.
No Tobey Maguire and no Tom Holland as James Bond. At least not yet. So what do you think, Nat?
Well, I thought it was just a very mid movie. Like, it was just mediocre.
All right. What did you give it?
I gave it a 3.5.
3.5. Okay. I see. 3.5 means not good at all, because that's your lowest score you've given, right?
Well, most of your movies are like either mediocre.
Mediocre. Okay. Not too many
mediocre
great
at
movies.
best.
All right. They make billions of dollars in the movie theater. Okay, whatever.
Everything does. Even if it's the worst movie ever, it'll make a lot of money because everyone was like, oh, there's a new movie out. Let's go watch it in theaters before realizing it's bad. And then everyone watches it. Then everyone's like, oh, it's so bad. And then half the time, no one actually cares what their friends say. So they also go watch it. And then everyone watches it and it makes a lot of money, even though everyone hates it.
That doesn't really work that way because there's some movies that don't make any money. But you're right. That doesn't mean that it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Just because it made a lot of money. That's true.
Why don't we get into the recap?
Okay. The movie starts in a black and white scene where James Bond is on his first mission before he gets his 00 status.
I was getting nervous. I didn't want it to be black and white. We just watched the black and white movie. I didn't want to watch another one.
What movie did we watch black and white?
Miracle on
34th Street.
Yeah.
Okay. But it was good, though. Miracle on 34th Street was really good.
It was good, but it was not as magical.
Okay. You need color. Got it.
Yeah.
He confronts a double agent who pulls the gun on him. Bond has emptied it and kills the man. And we see a flashback where he kills the man's associate. Then the credits roll. In Uganda, we see a man named Mr. White broker a deal with a freedom fighter named Obano and a man named Le Chiffre. Le Chiffre tells Obano to invest his money with him and he will get 100% returns and can access the money anytime. Obano hesitantly agrees. In Madagascar, Bond is surveilling a terrorist bomb maker when Bond's associate is spotted, and we see a parkour foot chase through markets and construction sites in a rooftop.
He got his steps in for that day.
I know.
Also, I bet construction workers, like, worst nightmare are, like, action heroes.
It's good they just come in and destroy all the work they've been doing.
Yeah. Even though they're, like, good guys, they always end up going through, like, a construction field and ruining everything.
It's true, right? Like, at the end, after the guy left, they're over there picking up all the pieces of all the ruined work that they did, right?
Yeah.
And their boss is like, I don't care. You need to finish by next Friday. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's true. Did you like the parkour, all the jumping and things like that?
Yeah, it was cool.
See, I think that's kind of like the new Bond that they want. I don't think you would have seen that in older movies, at least to that effect.
Because he used to be 50 and now he's 40.
No, 30. He's in his 30s, I think. The terrorist goes into an embassy and asks for asylum. Bond, irrespective of international laws, chases after him and eventually is surrounded by the guards. Bond kills the bomb maker and causes an explosion to escape.
Whatever happened to wanting him alive?
Yeah, I know. He wanted him alive in the beginning, but then... Because he could have shot him any time, right?
Yeah. He just got bored.
Well, he couldn't get him now. He's already at asylum, so... Bond goes through the backpack and finds a cell phone. On the phone, Bond reads the word ellipsis on the text. Later, Bond hacks into the phone and finds out that the text came from the Bahamas. Natalie thinks it's funny that he hacks into phone. Bond's boss, comes in and yells at him for his behavior at the embassy and for breaking into her home to access the computer.
Oh, yeah, it's a little weirdo.
I know. He
could have just knocked.
No, he just snuck in before she was even there. They talk about his overconfidence and how it's going to be his demise. In the Bahamas, Bond connects the call to Demetrius, who happens to be a middleman for Le Chiffre. Bond beats Demetrius at a game of poker, eventually winning his Aston Martin car. Later, Bond romances Demetrius' wife and finds out that he's on his way to Miami. Did you like that car?
It was cool, but I don't really know much about cars. I just know it looked really nice.
Yeah, it looked really cool. Bond follows Demetrius to Miami and meets him at a museum. They fight, and Bond eventually kills Demetrius, but not before he transfers a bag with a bomb to a terrorist named Carlos. Bond figures out who Carlos is, and the chase begins. Carlos's mission is to bomb a brand new jet airline. Le Chiffre has heavily invested against the airliner's company, and blowing it up would make Le Chiffre a lot of money. Bond chases after Carlos and eventually gets the upper hand.
Poor planes, they're always getting bombed.
I know. Bond saves the airliner, and Carlos accidentally blows himself up. Well, not accidentally. Bond makes it happen on purpose, but yeah. And then when I watched the movie, I didn't understand what this had to do with it.
Well, I think it's because he was getting handcuffed by the police, and so like the only way he got out, I think, was because he exploded, and they're like, oh wait, he doesn't have the bomb. It was this other guy that was trying to do it.
But I didn't know why this had anything to do with the movie until I read the synopsis. There was a quick line that after Le Chiffre spoke with Obano, he said, hey, put like $1 million or $100 million or $10 million against the airliner. And I didn't make the connection until afterwards. I didn't even know why any of this was important until later.
But it's like stuff like that in this movie that's like, was it really necessary? Like the story would have been completely fine without this scene. It was just a waste of time.
So as I was doing the recap, just in general, watching these action movies, like that parkour scene.
Yeah.
That was like 25 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And so I said, and they have a parkour scene through rooftops and construction sites. It took like 5 seconds for me to retell it, but it was like 25 minutes of the actual movie.
That's why I'm saying this movie is like very mid, because like it's had a bunch of scenes that were like unnecessary or like too long. And what was the movie, like 2 hours long?
No, 2 hours and 24 minutes.
Yeah, it could have easily been like 1 hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. It doesn't seem like you like action movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like that kind of stuff bores you, because the scene where he's chasing after Carlos and he's on top and he's flying off the side of the tanker truck, and like there's a plane flying by and the cops are chasing him. All that action, once again, took about 10 seconds to retell, but like 25 minutes in the movie. So you don't like watching all that action stuff. It doesn't seem like you care about it much.
I just think it needs to be necessary to the story. It's sad for me to think that a movie would do well if it was like a movie about cats, getting cats to their owners, and between every cat that they found, there was an explosion. Everyone would be like, wow, this is a great movie. Like, I don't think that's what makes a great movie.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's a whole genre. Those blockbuster movies, like pretty much all the Marvel movies, right? In general, so I don't think you.
But at least Marvel movies have like plots and reasons for those big explosions.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they make I don't know. That's a good point. Like, people like to watch explosions. People like to watch car chases, right?
Yeah.
And if they just throw it in there, I mean, they can put it in there, but it's not so much.
Isn't that like what all of Fast and Furious is?
Yeah.
Car chases and explosions.
And they're on Fast and Furious 309, right? So, like,
yeah.
right, I mean, that's a very popular movie franchise.
I'm just not into it.
Yeah. Okay. So let me make sure to look for all my action movies so that way we can watch them for the next 47 episodes in a row. Back in the Bahamas, M tells him that Le Chiffre is behind it all, and that he's putting up a high-stakes poker game at Casino Royale in Montenegro for the prize money of $150 million. They figure that Le Chiffre has lost money when Bond saved an airliner and is going to try to win it back at the poker game. M tells Bond that he will enter the poker game and get Le Chiffre. You're right. Like, we could have scrapped everything up to this point and just done the poker game at the end. Although I also have a feeling that you didn't care much about the poker scenes. Well, let's get to them, and you tell me what you really felt about watching.
The parkour scene could have been.
Poker.
I think parkour is still cool. Like, explosions and car chases are still cool, but like they take a little while. So maybe if we like cut that amount of time in half, that would be good.
All right. Because, I mean, a movie, I don't know. The next movie we're going to watch, I won't say it, well, we'll say it at the end. It's about an hour and a half. So you're looking at a movie that's an hour shorter. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And a movie, I think, Mean Girls was about an hour and 35 minutes, hour and 40 minutes. So you're looking at a movie that's 45 minutes, 50 minutes shorter.
Maybe I just have a short attention span.
Maybe that's what Gen Z is all about.
That's why we like TikTok.
That's why you like TikTok. So we should do Papi approved TikTok videos, and then
it would be one episode.
It'd be 0 episodes. I wouldn't watch any of it. I've never watched TikTok, so I don't know.
It would be like a single TikTok you saw on your news feed that one time.
I know. About war or something. Like, I don't know. It wouldn't be anything fun. I don't know. Maybe I would.
It'd be depressing.
Watch me start watching TikTok tonight and then just stay up all night to watch it. I don't know. Who knows?
Oh, no.
In Montenegro, Bond meets Vesper Lind, a treasure agent who is going to give Bond the money to enter the tournament.
Isn't that like a scooter name? A Vesper?
No, that's Vespa.
Oh.
Yeah. Vesper. I don't know. Sounds like Viper. You know what I mean? Vesper. That's a cool name, though, right? Hi, I'm Vesper Lind. Who knows if that's a real name?
Yeah.
I mean,
probably
obviously it's not the actress's name, but yeah. She's also in charge of deciding if Bond gets any more money for a buy-in. They have a tete-a-tete on a train, sizing each other up. They meet a local contact named Mathis, who's behind the scenes helping. At the hotel, they are undercover as a couple. They give each other clothes to wear for the tournament, to each other's dislike. The games begin in Le Chiffre. It's very good, but Bond feels that he's learned his tell.
Why couldn't they just get each other's clothes?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, why couldn't they just go to the store and get clothes?
Together?
Yeah.
I know, because she just picked a jacket for him, but he picked the sexiest dress you've ever seen for her, right?
Yeah, and her whole thing is that she gets him the suit, but then does that mean she was just gonna wear like t-shirt and shorts to the thing? Like, no, she probably bought her own dress or something. It's not like she was just gonna walk in there wearing like a tank top.
No, but I guess the one he wanted her to wear was so much like distracting how beautiful she would look, so that way everybody was looking at her and not paying attention to him. Or maybe he just wanted to look at her in a pretty dress. I don't know. Yeah, James Bond is, you never know.
But he likes married women.
That's what he said. Well, we find out she is later.
Well,
a spoiler. No spoilers. Everything's a spoiler, Dad. That was me, Papi, speaking as Natalie. I know on the mic it'll sound like we both were talking there, but okay.
I'm Daddy and I'm awesome.
During a break, Obano attacks Le Chiffre and wants his money back. Le Chiffre says he will have his money tomorrow after the tournament. Bond and Vesper over here, and they are attacked by Obano and his henchmen. Bond fights them in the stairwell, eventually killing them both. Bond asks Mathis to clean up the mess. Back to poker. Bond's rating of Le
Wait,
Chiffre.
no,
What?
not back to poker.
Go ahead.
Then there was a whole scene of Viper. Wait, that's not her name. Vesper sitting in the shower all depressed because she's traumatized because she literally watched murder, or I guess manslaughter. I don't really know. She watched someone get killed.
Right.
And then it was just like she's in all clothing, with her hair all did. In like sitting in the shower, and then he goes and gets in with her. Like, you could have just sat outside. Like, he's not doing anything. They're just wasting a water bill away and away.
Well, he does turn the water. It got cold already, and he warmed it up, right? So he saved your life.
It's so pointless.
I was reading something about that scene. And I didn't bring it up. He went to go play poker, and they play for 4 hours straight, right?
Yeah.
And then they take a break for an hour. So he went to poker. He came back. And she's in the shower. So in all reality, she might have been in the shower for 4 hours. Right?
Water your bill.
Yeah, water bill.
Good thing they're in a hotel, right?
Good thing they're at the hotel. So after this shower scene, back to poker. Bond's rating of Le Chiffre is wrong and is taken out of the game. Bond asks for the buy-in money from Vesper, but she says no. Then Felix Leiter, one of the poker players in the tournament, tells Bond that he's a CIA agent. Felix is about to lose all his chips and offers to pay Bond's buy-in as long as the CIA gets the arrest on Le Chiffre.
What is that? James Leiter? No. What is his
Felix.
name? Felix Leiter. I wonder if he is a cigarette fiend because he has a lighter.
Felix. Felix means happiness. I think that's what that means in Latin. So he's a happy lighter.
Yeah.
But no, lighter means something else probably. Because it's spelled different. Back to poker once again.
I'm sorry. There's a lot of side parts.
Well, there's a lot of poker. And then we're going to have another back to poker in a second. Back to poker. Bond is back in and winning. Le Chiffre's girlfriend, Valenka, poisons Bond and causes him to have a heart attack. Bond leaves the game and goes into his car. There he injects himself with an antidote. And right before he flatlines for good, Vesper helps him with a defibrillator and he comes back to life. And back into the game. Back to poker.
That's why I thought she's not just some ordinary secretary girl, because she knows how to put together this life support saving thing. He just walks around and sees this thing in his body and knows to plug it in.
See, I don't know if she ever was part of MI6, like the organization that he worked for. Yeah. I'm not really sure. I'm not positive. Maybe she was and then she became a double agent. Or maybe she was just pretending to be the supposed agent she was supposed to be. I don't know. Maybe she was. So if she's an agent for the MI6, and they're trained in everything, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Anyways, he comes back into the game and he wins. And he wins big. Over $120 million. He beats Le Chiffre.
Time to get a new James Bond car.
There you go. Vesper is warming up to Bond and they have dinner. Mathis calls her and she leaves in a hurry. Bond follows her and sees her being kidnapped. He chases after her and swerves off the road to avoid hitting her. He is knocked out and wakes up in a seatless chair naked.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, indeed. Le Chiffre comes in and wants Bond's password in order to get the tournament's winning. Bond says no. Then the nastiest torture scene commences. Bond does not give it away. Oh my gosh, this is the worst scene. I don't remember everything in this movie because I hadn't seen it in a while, but I remember this scene vividly, painfully. I had to turn my eyes away to watch it. Let's move forward.
It's like me with all the barf scenes.
Yes, I imagine this is like you in the barf scenes. Then Mr. White comes in and kills Le Chiffre. So the whole bad guy in the whole movie gets killed by someone else. Bond doesn't even get him. You know what I mean?
And who even kills him? Do we ever find out?
Mr. White. In the beginning, do you remember when Le Chiffre meets Obano in Uganda? There's a person who connects the meeting. That's Mr. White. That was that guy.
Oh, okay.
And then later on, we see him do the same thing later. So it's the same character for later.
Le Chiffre's his whole eye bleeding thing, he should get that checked out.
Yeah. Well, it seems like he didn't have an eye, right? Like one of his eyes was not a real eye.
I thought he just had that
the eye was
different
clouded.
Colored eye.
Oh, maybe. I thought it was clouded and then he had a scar on the above and below the eye.
I wasn't paying attention.
You didn't see the main villain's face throughout.
No.
Okay.
I just know he had really silk hair.
Anyway, I think he
And
lost
he
his
had
eye.
asthma.
And he had asthma, right? It's a very weird, right? He had asthma, which was because he used the inhaler quite a few times during the movie.
And they had this whole scene where they like put something in his inhaler, but then where does that even go? Like, did they ever use that again?
It was a tracker. That's how they ended up finding his hotel room. Bond wakes up in a hospital bed and sees Vesper. They have a moment and kiss. The accountant of the Casino Royale comes and Vesper puts in the account number to route the money, and Bond puts in the password. Now, what's the password? Do you remember?
Eclipse.
No. His password. Vesper. Her name. He was already in love. Bond is in love and he and Vesper run away together to Italy. He resigns from MI6. Later, Vesper goes out to get money when M calls Bond. M says the treasury agent is there ready for the money transfer. Bond realizes that Vesper has been playing him the whole time and that she has stolen the money.
Dun, dun, dun.
We spoiled it earlier, so I'm sorry for everybody. Because Natalie says everything's spoiled anyway, so whatever.
Yeah, you're the one who committed to watching this podcast.
Bond goes out to find her and sees that she is with Mr. White and his henchmen. He follows them and a gunfight ensues. The building that they are in sinks and Bond kills everyone except for Mr. White, who gets away with the money. Vesper is trapped in the elevator and she drowns right in front of Bond.
They had a little underwater face caress moment. It was very strange.
It's very romantic.
Underwater.
Underwater, yes. She kind of like let herself die too.
Yeah.
She like felt guilty about it. So it's a little bit of a weird situation. Because
I
who
would
wants to
just
die? Right? If you're guilty, I mean, I guess she's going to go to jail, but Bond calls M and tells her Vesper is dead. M tells him that she was being blackmailed and that's why she did it. Bond doesn't care and is cold and heartless. Bond goes after Mr. White and shoots him in the leg.
How rude.
Mr. White asks him, "Who are you?" And Bond responds with his famous line, "My name is Bond. James Bond." The end. My name is Papi. Papi. I don't know, whatever. There's no last name for Papi.
Papi Chulo.
Papi Chulo. My name is Chulo. Papi Chulo. The end. I love this movie. It's a good movie. At the end of the day, I think it was good. Once again, a lot of action. People
Too
love
long.
it.
Too
People
long.
love the action scene. When that building was sinking, that was pretty awesome. We like I said, it took us 3 seconds to explain it, but still pretty awesome. All right, Nat. Could this movie still be made today?
Probably. But James Bond needs to stop with the married women.
Yeah, he needs to stop trying to make out with married women.
Yeah, and his whole point that he's trying to dress Vesper for everyone else is so sad. That, like, their strategy was to distract them all with a woman.
That's true. They were using her as a
strategy
or like a thing, right? Like a sexual thing, so that way he could advance in the game of poker just by her looking the way she did.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
So this movie was like a reboot of the whole franchise. And if you go back and watch any of the movies from the 60s, 70s, or 80s, or even 90s, you would probably hate them all. I'll be honest with you, because 007 is the number one womanizer in movie history. So his goal is beautiful women. Like, I think there are 3 or 4 things about James Bond. The first one is beautiful, cool cars.
Yeah.
Then gadgets. And then, like, him just hooking up with beautiful women.
But that's so sad that women are in the mix with gadgets and cars.
Yeah, kind of like trophies. Like, remember, like, in our last podcast, I would say it's the same thing. Like, hey, I get this beautiful girl. I get this beautiful car. I get this cool technology.
That's sad.
I would say almost all the James Bond movies and all the James Bond characters have always been about that. And it's funny because in the beginning of this movie, he falls in love with a woman, which kind of doesn't really happen later on. I mean, in the prior movies, he kind of just romances them and then leaves them. And then we even saw one scene where we were watching trailers of some of the old Bond movies, and then someone attacks him and he puts the woman in the way. Remember in the trailer? Like, he uses the woman as a shield. And so I'm like, that's kind of more how he treated women. And then also in the beginning of this movie, he's driving a Ford, which you say is the car that you want to have when you grow up. I guess that's what you were saying?
I said that a good, nice car. It doesn't need to be fancy. It's just a nice car I can take to 7-Eleven for my Slurpee.
Yeah, so in the beginning he was just driving any old car. Later on, he wins the very nice car. And then he doesn't meet Q, who is his technology person in this movie, but I think in the next one he actually starts getting the new technology. So I would say that of all the Bond movies, the newer ones are probably a lot less sexist
and more
misogynistic
able to be made today.
And more be able to be today, and that's why they've changed. I really do want you to see like GoldenEye or
I don't.
Some of the names of the women in the old movies are so highly inappropriate. Like,
well, even in this movie, the Viper's name, it was like something broad chest.
Right. So her nickname. I don't know if that was him making a joke or if they really did her code name as that. I don't know. But yeah, that was funny. But some of the old movies, their characters were really inappropriate. So I think that's kind of why this movie could be made today a little bit better. And then also, Daniel Craig made his last Bond movie 2 years ago. So Daniel Craig will no longer be Bond. He did, I think, 5 movies. So they're going to get a new Bond, and I would love to see how that goes.
For some reason, I expected that the Bond movies would go in threes like the Star Wars franchise.
Yeah, well, there's been 20 plus movies of James Bond, so, you know what I mean? I think it's 25 total now, I think. Anyways, does it pass the Bechdel test?
No.
Hard no. You are right. Go ahead and let's go over the Bechdel test. Bechdel test is a criteria to see if there's enough female representation in a movie. There are 3 questions. Let's start with the first one. Is there more than one female character named?
There is, but I don't know the second woman's name. There's Vesper, and then there's that lady that he broke into.
Oh, M.
M, yeah.
That's her code name is M.
Yeah, that's
M,
about it.
Vesper. Then there's Valenka, who is Le Chiffre's girlfriend or wife.
Oh, yeah.
And then Solange, which was Demetrios' wife, who ends up getting killed as well. I think all the women get killed. Yeah. All women get killed except for M. You're right.
This is a little awkward.
All right. So there are 2 names. Do they ever talk to each other?
No.
No. They never even see each other, huh?
No.
You are right. This does not pass the Bechdel test. I don't think any James Bond movie has ever passed the Bechdel test. Maybe like the later ones. There's a couple other ones maybe.
And I bet if they did, it would be something stupid. Like the women were like, no.
They talk about having dinner or something like that. Who knows,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. All right. Anything else?
No, that's all.
Thank you for tuning in to Papi Approved Movies.
If you like this episode, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcast app.
We put out an episode every Monday. If you want to suggest a movie for us to watch and critique,
email us at papiapprovedmovies@gmail.com.
that's papiapprovedmovies@gmail.com. No spaces, no caps.
We'll try our best to get to your suggestion.
And remember, it has to be PG-13.
Next time, we're watching Dodgeball, a true underdog story. So I hope you join us.
I'm Papi.
And I'm Natalie.
See you next time.